Welcome back. Now, Nampower has announced a countrywide electricity disconnection of power in stages for all its defaulting clients. Clients affected are those receiving electricity through the central and northern electricity distributors Sinored and Nored. In the Karas and Hadap regions, all defaulting villages and town councils, except for Keetmanshoop, will be without electricity from June 5th if they don't settle their overdue accounts by May 31st. Nampower will be disconnecting electricity to all its defaulting clients. Now, joining us this evening to talk to us about this is Mr. Charlie Matengu, who is the spokesperson of the regional electricity distributor. Mr. Matengu, good evening and welcome to the Daily Roundup.
Good evening and thank you so much for having us in.
Just to start with and getting straight to the heart of the matter, Mr. Matengu, talk to us about how much it is that Sinored actually owes Nampower.
You see, I just wanted to characterize one thing. Sinored does not owe Nampower, but rather Sinored Okahanja JV, that's the one that has some kind of arrangement with Nampower. So Sinored Okahanja JV is exclusive to the areas of Okahanja. Sinored is exclusive to the many other areas. But what is actually happening right now is, I think it's just a matter of some papers being put together. The current status quo shows that we are actually very much current in terms of our obligations to Nampower. But the only problem lies on the fact that we default on the date of payment. Now, what am I saying? What do I mean? This translates to expectations from the service provider. Nampower, as per the contract, as per the obligation that was stated to us that we fully know very well as well, is that we are supposed to honor our obligations on the 25th of each month. But unfortunately, we are only honoring that obligation on the 30th or 31st of each month. But then we are still current, we are still up to date in terms of our obligations to that effect. So the whole issue has to do with us defaulting on the payment date. Of course, it's a bit impossible, really. We are going to meet Nampower on Thursday, this coming Thursday. We have arranged for a meeting with Nampower as a key stakeholder, and then we are going to engage them and see if we can come up with amicable ways to evade any, of these uncertainties that are being felt by our customers, more especially in the areas of the Sinored Okahanja JV. So it mostly has to do with the date of the payment. And of course, as a business, sometimes it's literally very impossible, or sometimes it becomes very difficult, as most of our customers also tend to pay or honor their obligations from the 20th up to the 30th or towards the 30th there in terms of the cash flow. So that is where it is currently. And of course, I know very well, and I'm very confident that Nampower and Sinored will be able to reach a consensus looking at the good working relationship that we have and the fact that we have actually also had obligations in terms of our payment plans that has been or had been executed promptly and very sound.
Mr. Matengu, just to make sense of what you've just said, are you categorically stating that you in fact are not in arrears and that the reason for the electricity that will be switched off in the Okahanja area is due to the fact that you make payments not on the 25th but of the 31st of each month to Nampower? Are we following each other there?
Nina, I wouldn't even want to say electricity that will be switched off. But what I'm basically saying is that there are payment obligations in terms of the date that that obligation has to be executed. Unfortunately, we have defaulted on that aspect, being able to pay on the 25th. So we are paying on the 30th, and we have reconciled our records. Of course, it might sound light, but it's not a light issue, given the fact that this is an obligation that it's something that we already know, and it's a breach of, should I say, breach of contract in terms of the obligations that were laid out as per the service provision. So it can be looked at as light. That is why we are engaging Nampower this coming Thursday.
Just clarify for me, Mr. Matengu, what the reasons are then that payment would be made a few days later than you're contractually obligated to do.
The reasons is literally what I alluded to earlier on. We are looking at also, you see, we do have customers that we are saving. And most of our customers are only able to pay out from the 20th. Let's say somewhere there, 15, 20th, 25, up to 30. So that is the time that we should also be able to, you know, fulfill our obligations or to honor our obligations. Unfortunately, we're actually in a business of selling units. So that when we sell units and we get, you know, from obligations from the units, then we are also able to extend that obligation to our suppliers. So that is basically our engagement that we intend to have with Nampower this coming Thursday. And immediately after that engagement on Thursday, we are going to go for a press conference just to update the public on what has been the outcome of that engagement immediately on Thursday.
What are you going to be, you know, sort of bringing to the table in terms of an understanding between yourself and Nampower to resolve this issue?
What we are bringing to the table, though we don't want to preempt it now, because this is an issue on the agenda, it's the flexibility in terms of the payment. You can already see from onset that there is a character of Senorit willing to pay, but then unfortunately that character cannot be substantiated by paying on time because of the different challenges. But that character can be evident on the fact that Senorit pays on the 30th. So that is the character that we want to bring flexibility in to say, are we able, based on our business settings as well, can there be this type of flexibility that we are able to, you know, have to honor some of these obligations, even at month end, provided we don't default on these obligations. So that is basically some of one of the agenda items that will be very prime on the meeting or at the meeting on Thursday.
Mr. Matengu, thank you so much for your time. That's all the time we have this evening. All the best with the meeting with Senorit, and we look forward to your press briefing after that meeting.
Well, thank you so much. Just quickly to our customers, please do not panic. We will definitely engage you on Thursday immediately after the meeting. We'll engage you. So there's no cause for any panic right now.
Thank you so much. Well, that was Mr. Charlie Matengu, spokesperson for Senorit, speaking to us there on the issue concerning a seen in a written notice making the rounds on social media and other media platforms on Nampower that will be disconnecting electricity to its defaulting clients. He just gave some clarity there.